This is Alison Jose from Circular Centre. Today we'll be talking about designing out waste and pollution and designing with materials for circular waste streams.
Thanks for having me, Nat. So I wanted to just explain the Circular Centre a little bit and our focus on designing out waste and pollution. We are tackling it from all sides of the circular supply chain, the entire circle, if you will, by actually designing and offering the cutting edge textiles that are actually tackling pollution, in particular plastic pollution. And the biggest problem around that is for fashion, activewear, underwear, where we actually do need stretch. And so we've worked really hard and working with companies that have actually now created the world's first cradle to cradle, gold standard biopolymer that will actually break down in a home compost. And so what that does is the crucial part of it is, as it's also breaking down, it has the Hohenstein Institute certification that also shows that it's non-toxic as it breaks down. So therefore it will be able to be home composted, but we're also looking at how to we'll be doing trials on commercial composting so it can actually go back into urban home and also land regeneration projects. So, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So I wanted to show you the first range of the textiles. So this is actually blending it with, so the Biostretch is the elastane. Normally we're looking at spandex, which is creating the microfibers that go into the ocean, soil, sea life, seafood, humans, and the environment. Looking at how it actually affects human health is also quite new research, and more research needs to be done. But the probability is quite high that that actually is going to have an increasing health implications. So that is actually one of the reasons why we focus on, as we said, the circular economy model of designing out waste and the pollution, because by recycling it, putting it back into RPT and back into garments actually just continues the problem of putting toxic chemicals back through the supply chain. So that's the other part of things. So looking at how we actually replace it in the first place, this is really groundbreaking, and I'm so very excited to be able to offer this. As part of the Circular Centre and the setup for the arm that folds underneath that is called STSC, Sustainable Textile Supply Chain. I wanted to also address what happens for a lot of smaller designers who I believe will have the ability to pivot faster by replacing unsustainable materials with sustainable. But of course, the barrier there is a lot of mills actually have 1,000 meters. So what we're doing is we are blending with natural fibers only. So we're using fair trade organic cotton, which in fact is one of my favorites, and with the Biostretch. So this is actually fair trade organic cotton. It's got the most Biostretch in there, so it's 91.9% fair trade organic cotton. So this would be fantastic for a multitude of garments, including things like yoga, stretch pants, for example, things that need stretch. But we also do make it with the viscose, which is the only ever the trademark either burla or lensing is really key, because they're a wood pulp, and anything that isn't from those company or that isn't from a FSC source, Forestry Sustainable Certification, then it is actually contributing to mass deforestation. And also the organization called canopyplanet.org is also tracking and proving that a lot of people, when it's just straight up viscose or lyocell or without a trademark, then it actually is, as I said, contributing to mass deforestation. And also they're showing that they are also using endangered forests. So it's really quite as distressing and impactful on the environment that is actually coming from fashion. both utilizing the wood pulp that isn't sustainable, but also the plastics, the synthetics, whether it be from a virgin source or also recycled. So what's exciting is that we hope to have it then as a take-back system. This is a cornstarch bag, chop it up, and we are wanting to fast track the degradation of this so we can minimize the carbon emissions that are being used when a product like this is actually breaking down. But alternatively, you know, we really want to inspire the fashion designers to engage their customers and teach them how to home compost, doing it correctly. So that means you literally would clean it, chop it up, put in your own compost. It will break down in around 300 days as opposed to 200 to 1,000 years, which is what the other product does, and also won't cause the toxins as it's breaking down. So that's really key. But by doing it through a commercial composting system, that means we actually can do it even faster. So that's the beginning of the line. And then I think to do, you know, utilize the resource that you're doing with the 3D design, then you're taking your textiles and designing something so it is, you know, it has the capability of working with designers to work with the construction of the textiles. And so there's no waste in that as well. And then from my other perspective with the Circular Centre, I've designed a circular textile waste service. So that is actually to take out the bad textiles that are currently in the market, ensure that it doesn't just get turned back into other products that just keep, you know, reproducing the plastic, but also to use them for high quality products. So the service actually is geared towards, and it's brand new, so it'll be Australia wide, and it's geared towards councils and corporate. So that would be anything from corporate uniforms through to banners, for example, you know, so corporate waste and commercial waste, and to fashion designers, so they could either use their dead stock or do takebacks with their own product or with customers. And then also wanting to engage eco warriors in the community. So we take back everything. So that is bras, undies, socks, absolutely everything. And I currently have 19 streams, so circular streams that are actually based in Australia. We will send 0 overseas. It's really important to not send it overseas because that actually just creates more carbon emissions and sends it off to someone else's landfill. But also it's to create the jobs opportunity here. So that's part of the Circular Centre's main goal, which is to keep everything onshore because it's a resource that we can continue to use here, but also to provide really exciting and fantastic and engaging training and work opportunities for disability enterprises. So we're working at the moment with our first group. We've done our training with Achieve Australia in Sydney, and they've just been absolutely remarkable. So we've done our first jobs for Mossman Council and also Virgin Airlines. So that's taking all their uniforms. Of course, some customers like Virgin Airlines, we need to maintain their IP. So we're talking about the destruction. So the disability enterprise teams, they'll sort and dismantle, train them to do that work. And what's exciting is that to marry the human-centered design with smart technology. So we're actually working with Queensland University of Technology. They have been working really hard on a robotic system. And I've been working with the engineers to actually make some tweaks so it actually is appropriate for disability enterprise staff. And we make sure that we put all the bells and whistles and make sure that it's, you know, maintaining all the WHS protocols. So that's really exciting for the first button removal system. We actually did do a human versus machine trial, and our team actually do it in 57 seconds. And this robotic arm can do it in 7 seconds. So making some tweaks to that. And so we hope to actually integrate that with every disability enterprise that we work with. And by doing that, that actually means we get through the waste faster. and so we can take more waste and turn it into other things just faster. So the goal is to actually then move on to other things that we can remove, like zippers and unpicking. And so fingers crossed the team will be able to actually design that for us. They're working for us to do that at the moment, which is exciting. So thinking also about what we do with the existing shapes, for example, the vests for Virgin Australia for the we got close to a ton back. Not all of it is usable of course, but some of it is. And so they're assembled threads. I'm talking to them down in Melbourne, them taking the high-vis vests, you know, they're going in different shapes and sizes. So what they want to do is actually cut those out and use the high-vis materials and put them onto hats and helmets, but also reutilizing the shape of a vest and having as minimal waste as you possibly can. So 3D, I think, will have a really great application for that.